Good evening. Happy Monday to you guys. It is definitely good to be back in front of you. We are definitely excited to start something that is going to be helpful to the community. So, if you are the person that is looking to move abroad, stay right here. We're going to get into it. If you aren't the person or you know another person that is looking to move abroad, what I need you guys to do is go ahead and share this Instagram video, YouTube, wherever it is that you happen to be watching. I need you to push the share button so that person can actually see this, what it is that we have for you guys. Because I know a lot of people are jumping into Google, or know there are a lot of people jumping into the AIs trying to figure out exactly how to move abroad. And it is actually time tonight to get into some of these things, because a lot of people thinking that maybe they're just the only one, or maybe the only one that needs help. And what we realize is often that it's going to take us, the community of people that are looking to move abroad, the people that already are living abroad. It takes us working together to help ease I would say, the pains and the challenges that come with moving abroad, because we are at a time where we are starting to see some of the negative stories of people moving abroad, the people moving back. And if you're looking to move abroad, you want yourself to be a success story. So tonight we are going to get in day one of what we have branded the 12 days of relocation. Obviously, we just got past Halloween. We are getting into the Christmas spirit, if that is something that is on your mind. More so, we are getting to the end of the year. So, over the next 12 days, what we are going to cover, are a number of different relocation topics. These topics are all designed to help give you some more information that you need to put in your relocation book bag. A physical perspective is about packing up some of that baggage that America has and has on your body. So, what we're going to do over these next 12 days is talk about some real things. These things are designed to either one, wake you up in understanding where you are right now, or what we're going to do is start to put the pieces together for the thoughts that you're already going on in your head. Well, how do you actually make sense of them? What do you do? Who do you reach out? Excuse me. I know a lot of people say, do your research. But do your research, I feel like, is one of the most canned things, because where do you base your knowledge of what research to do if you don't actually know what research it is that you need to put into a successful journey? So, not just telling you to go do your research, what we're trying to do tonight and over the next couple of nights is designed to give you at least some starting points, some things that can bridge the gap between where you are right now in America, trying to figure out how to get out of the United States, and actually putting some actionable items and some things that you can use to leave, if that's what is on your mind. If it's not on your mind to leave, then this video and this series may not be for you. But if you are looking to move abroad, we are going to help prepare you to be successful when moving abroad. If you guys don't know me, my name is RJ Mood. I have lived in Colombia for the last 3 years. What I have done is try to build a community of people that will help you, the person that is looking to move abroad, make it a lot easier on your end to go actually take about this process of leaving the United States. So I'm here in Colombia. We have relocation covering Colombia, which includes Medellin, Santa Marta, as well as Cali, Colombia. We also have Mexico, Playa del Carmen, Mexico. We have South Africa, which includes Cape Town. And we have Panama, which includes Panama City. We also cover the things that when you are running out of the burning house that is America right now, and you may forget some things outside of where am I going. What we've also done is worked within our network to bring you the other stuff that you need when putting into your relocation book bag or your suitcase, let's say. I know a lot of people are looking to move with their children. We're going to get that covered for you. We also need to cover healthcare. Do you have healthcare options abroad? What does that look like? How does it differ from what you see in the United States? We also understand that for long term or even short term stay outside of what your passport gives you, you may be looking into a visa. But how do you navigate what that you actually need? What options are available to you? So we do bring on immigration lawyers to help you with navigating that process. We also talk about and bring on the importance of volunteering. You, it may be the first time looking to move abroad. So you are looking realistically to be welcomed and be a part of a community that should be hopefully open to you. But the best way to be a part of a community is becoming a part of the community. So that means understanding what things that you have to offer and how volunteering can help you get one, localized to customs, culture, language, but two, have a sense of belonging in the place that you are saying that you want to call home. Now, some people may not cover these on relocation conferences. I get that. But that's why we're a little bit different because we want to make certain that we're covering the things that you might have forgot about when you're looking to actually go leave. Some of the other things that will be present at the relocation conference are student loans. I know one of the biggest things that is plaguing Americans right now is student loans. How do I pay it back? The cost of student loans times my cost of bare necessities, basic monthly living costs, those can be high. Moving abroad positions you to be able to pay student loans off, or if you're not in a student loan debt scenario, you could be looking to retire. So many people are in our inboxes and trying to DM us about how do I leave the United States and actually retire? Because if I stay here, I'm going to have to work until I pretty much am gone. However, with the cost of living changes in the United States versus moving abroad, you could actually retire in many of these places. But how do you do that? What does that look like? And who is the person that is going to help guide you? One of the other things that is covering, and I think it's one of the biggest things, because a lot of people are asking me, well, what do you do for work? How do I make money online? One of the biggest things I tell people when looking to move abroad is if you are in the United States and you currently make US dollars, I know the US dollar may not be that valuable in the United States. 30,000, 35,000 may not go that far. Even less could go even less further. However, when you move abroad, the cost of living goes down drastically, and so many people are looking at making money online. How do you do that? We have experts that are designed to not only cover this and how to make money online and all of the other topics that it is that you need, but to kind of give you a pause because I know this move abroad thing, even having it on your radar, it is overwhelming. Over the next 12 days, we'll have conversations and topics that are 100% free. You guys can ask questions, understanding what you may need to know, what you may be thinking about, and want somebody's perspective on. I'm not the end all be all with any of this, which is why we work with an entire team of relocation experts. But each of these conversations is designed to help you, the person that is looking to move abroad, feel a little bit easier about this scenario, feel a little bit better about what this move abroad can do for your life because I don't think many people are wrapping their heads around the opportunity that they have here. Just checking in the comments, make sure we're not missing anybody. But let's get into it because tonight we are talking obviously for day one about something that is important because we always talk about the straw that broke the camel's back. Your breaking point. A lot of you are feeling like your breaking point is either here right now or it's coming, depending on where you are in the scenario of what is going on right now in the United States. Obviously, immigration and ICE is a big thing. You may be impacted by that. Never mind seeing your people in your neighborhood impacted by it. I think Americans are starting to realize that turning a blind eye just because it isn't you doesn't do you any good because it could be you relatively soon. So I think a lot more people are starting to look outside into their community and say, hey, this is wrong. But these things are maybe a part of what your breaking point is. Another people may be looking at, well, I'm a government employee and this is actually really bad for me. The government being shut down, employees not getting income. I know so many people are starting to look maybe outside of the government because the government is saying, hey, we're still closed. And when we do open, if you have a job back, then you can come. But you may not have a job back. And so many people are facing that right now and saying, what is it do I do? Will I have a job in the next couple of weeks? Can I afford to live here on the lifestyle that it is that I have? These are real breaking points that so many of you are positioned to go through right now. And the opportunity to understand where you are in your breaking point. I tell people when you are in a scenario where you're looking to move abroad, I don't know what you do in your daily life. I can't say that. I can only tell you what to do after this conversation that can help you, which you may not be doing. And one of the biggest things I don't think a lot of people do is visualize things. So, writing something down does a number of things. One, your eyeballs can see it, your brain processes it. But when you write something down versus just typing it, I feel like it's a certain process that happens where you're telling your brain to talk to your hand and then to put what your thoughts are onto paper. So then you're able to not only have went through that process, but looking at it. Because a lot of people aren't really clear on what their breaking point is in moving abroad. You may think it's only one thing, but when you move abroad and go and write the things that are causing you to leave, what you may be the straws that thinking that are breaking your camel's back, you might get a little overwhelmed by how many of them there are. You might have it on your head, there's three or five of them, but you go to take the intention, writing it down, and you realize, it's a little bit more than what it is that I assumed that I was going through. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, honestly, I'm on the other side of the TSA. So I am only going through conversations that I had with myself, with you, to help you understand that, yes, I can give you the foundations. We're going to give you that on the conference. We'll give you all of the cost of living and stuff like that. But you need to be able to understand where you are. There's not many people that are challenging you as the individual. They're saying, this is what I'm living like in overseas, and this is all the fun that I'm having. But that doesn't guarantee that you are going to have that exact same experience. You may not end up having this. You and I may be two different people. You might like to do things. You might be into nightlife stuff. I'm not into nightlife stuff. We may be yin and yang, but I will tell you from a success probability, we are all going to have to go through the exact same things to be successful. Now, you might not do these things and you probably won't be successful. These things are designed to help increase the probability of success that you have when moving abroad. I can't guarantee you guys anything, but if you listen, adhere to some of the things that I say, some of the things that we bring on with our conversations with the other guests and panelists that we have, we are all saying that you need to be intentional about this. So when I challenge you to write something down, which is your breaking point, where are you at right now? What is it that is having you fed up? If it's, I'm a government worker and I'm out of work, cool, write that down. But go write the other stuff. Sit and think about it. Because some of these things should get you mad enough to do something about it. It's easy in the conveyor belt of Monday through Sunday in the United States and feeling like every day is Groundhog Day to just say, yeah, I'm fed up with this, or yeah, this is impacting me now. And it's just like, so many people are waiting for the military to be at their door. So many people are waiting for martial law to be in. And you can't go to the airports to say, maybe I should have left. No, I'm not doing anything because we don't. But like, big shout out to Tisha. We're not doing anything fear based. I want you just to understand what you are going through. I can't dictate what you're going through. Some people are in a financial situation. Some people have plenty of money. So your straw that's breaking your camel's back may not be the same thing as the average person, but it is on you and you alone to figure out what it is and what they are. Because I guarantee you, it's more than one thing. This relocation process and this move abroad process, it is going to break you, but it is going to make you. It is supposed to break the mold. There is a mold around you right now. If you are 30 years old, if you're 40 years old, 50 years old, you got an American mold on you. And that doesn't mean when you leave America that you're no longer American, but it is a peculiar kind of person in America that has never left, has never spent time in another country, has never gotten to actually be needing to be a part of the culture, the language, the community. Hey, Colombia, things don't run as fast as they do in the United States. But if you came here with United States expectations, then you would be expecting everybody to move a lot faster than they're going to naturally move. And it may frustrate you. Many people haven't been positioned that way because from New York to LA, you're still in America. But this may be your first time to break out of that American mold, and you need to understand what it is done to you. These things, writing it down, understanding where you are, realizing that you have been paying a premium for some terrible quality merchandise. I know, pisses you off. I know, it's upsetting. But what do you do about it? being upset and doing something, that's why we're here. So we try to give you some tools that you can use. Writing these things down, the intention, seeing just how many things are actually plaguing you. And then come back here and we'll say, okay, well, what do we do with these things? Are there places where I can go that don't have these things? You know, one of the biggest things that people ask and are concerned about in the United States is safety. Safety in the United States looks so fragmented depending on demographics, what you may consider reality of some people's daily lives. But I will tell you that a number of people, when they consider safety, you figure, okay, can I go outside and not be a part of a mass incident? That's one thing. You've got police, what that looks like, interactions with them, depending on where you may fall on the side of that thought process. You may feel like interactions with police may be a little testy at times, if not downright very scary. These are things when it comes down to a safety perspective. And I had a guy reach out to me and was asking me about safety and like politics. And I will tell you, in the United States, everything that happens in the bubble of the United States impacts you. So, what happens when you move abroad, this is regardless, Colombia, anywhere, you aren't a citizen. So, the moving around that may impact you with presidents and certain things, it may not impact you as much, but it will 100% impact the community that you're going to be around. So when it comes to political safety, you're kind of shielded because you are a citizen and you have the easy ability to just say, well, if it's not, things aren't going right here, I can just go somewhere else. Whereas in America, that's not often presented to you easily. So when it comes down to political safety, you have a lot more ability to navigate around some political changes or different things. But then if policy change, you got to maneuver around that also. But when it comes to the safety of physical safety in the United States, I will tell you, depending on where you go, things look a little bit different. Mass incidents aren't a global phenomenon. I know, I know. They told you that we couldn't do anything about it and it just kept happening. And it's like every time you turn around, there's a normalized scenario going on regarding mass incidents. However, these things aren't normalized globally. Also, police brutality, you know, that's a whole nother subject and topic that we'd have to get into. But police brutality is not widely as seen the American way globally. There's different interactions, and what I will tell you from the safety perspective and just the different interactions, danger looks different abroad. Things may look different abroad that you are used to in America that you may need to learn how to navigate, which gets down based to the location. But oftentimes your safety is at a better clip than what America will tell you about these quote unquote third world countries. I will tell you, if you're a person that is looking to move abroad, I use the words because you know what I'm talking about, but I always use them in disdain. The places that have been deemed third world countries, many times they not one aren't third world countries. Two, I beg to ask you what you consider third world. Well, they don't have this. Okay, so 52% of Americans, adults, can't read past the sixth grade reading level. We obviously know the federal minimum wage will not cover you to be able to afford anything. So many people are a part of the working poor in the United States. We obviously see the number of people have increased at our own government programs, but it's because the wages at the jobs don't. Whereas in many places, 90th percentiles of adults are able to read. The healthcare is a lot better and it's affordable because in the United States, you can't afford to get sick or you can't afford to pay to get better. So many of these places that America has told you that are third world aren't third world at all. We're actually able to get a lot better quality of life and services abroad than we have access to in the United States. So, take into consideration with a lot of those things when you consider like when you're looking to move abroad, if your breaking point is safety, because you're going to get onto the other side of what does safety look like there, and you are often shielded because you are an American from things that may directly impact you if you were a citizen of the country. Doesn't mean that you don't need to be aware of what is going on and how it's impacting the people that are around you in the community that you signed up to be a part of. They didn't come asking you, recruit you to come there. You said, I want to be a part of that community. So understanding that even though you may not be impacted directly from a regime change, a policy change. We get into some of the isms that people talk about, classism, racism, may not impact you the way that it impacts you in the United States. But it doesn't mean that it's just like, oh, well, that's on them. Because that's what you may be looking to escape in the United States. So you also have to be very aware that your breaking point in the United States doesn't mean that you can go free for all willy nilly somewhere else because you're no longer the person that is in need or is at their breaking point and can do something about it. That is something we're going to get into a little bit, but definitely I know a lot of people are looking, and safety is one of the things, and breaking point of safety in the United States. Financially, I don't feel safe. I'm one missed paycheck away from being homeless. Physically, I don't feel safe. You know, these things may be the reason that you are looking to leave or a culmination of them. So take into consideration that as well, because a lot of people are wrapping their heads around what the American dream was supposed to be. A lot of people are saying, yeah, I think I've outgrown even chasing this American dream anymore. And I get it. You know, the rat race is something that a lot of people have a hard time realizing that they're in. Cause it almost feels like you're getting closer. Almost feels like you're getting ahead. And honestly, oftentimes you're not getting anywhere. You know, we have rewarded success by culmination of stuff and things. Most of the times when we go and we succeed, we get a better salary or a bonus. We're buying clothes, we're buying new cars, we're upgrading our lifestyle so we can afford more stuff. But there's no really upgrade in quality of life. It's just more access to stuff or just more stuff. The number of shoes that you have 2 feet, and how many pairs of shoes do you have? You have 2 legs, and how many pairs of jeans do you have? These things are starting to wear on people and realizing that, hey, I got it all, but I'm still at this point. I'm still at that breaking point. So maybe this stuff doesn't have the value that I've weighted it as in all of this time. You know, growing out of the American dream and chasing of it is definitely a lot of understanding of where people are right now. You know, it feels like you've been lied to all your life. That once you got the stuff and the things that came with the quote unquote American dream, whether it was the one that was out the box, 2 kids, a picket fence, a husband or a wife, and a white picket fence, and a beautiful house, maybe that was that out the box one. Or maybe you had said, you know, I'm going to make my own American dream. So many people, regardless of finances or anything else, are still coming up with the exact same things. I either am tired of this chase into a dream that doesn't seem like reality, or I actually got everything, and it's nothing like what it is that they sold me. I'm not happy with the stuff. My health is not good because even with the best foods, the food in general is all terrible. What was it? I don't know who you are, but I guarantee you're probably running some of these scenarios through your heads, understanding that, hey, I might actually be in the rat race. And there may be no escaping it on this trajectory that I'm on right now. Or I'm not in the rat race, but there's no more stuff. Will Smith has said that. When when you're broke and you know you don't have everything you want, you're going towards your goals. You're putting your success. You're like, hey, if I could just get to my goals and what I think is success, then I'd be happy, right? And that's often how oftentimes we structure our lives towards goals and success, and understanding that if we just got our goals accomplished, then our problems would be behind us. And he said something that was one of the most profound things, because I'm not a person that has gotten all of my goals or reached the plateaus of success. And you probably aren't either, but you still are striving towards those. But he says one thing, and that's why I said even the people that are striving towards something are running into the same thing with what has considered I made it. He said, I got everything. I had all of the money. I could have either done everything or I could do everything. And it felt like when I didn't have anything because it was that scary because what do I do now? And people may be on the different spectrums of this move abroad process, but I tell people if you're on the process that I don't have it and if I just work real hard, I'm gonna get it, the people that have it are saying that this isn't true. You know this. You watch TMZ all the time and you see all these people that got plenty of money and fame and all the other stuff that people kill themselves for and they're in rehab because they're like, my life sucks. But you're killing yourself for some of these coveted things and fame or the power, these things that you think is going to make your life whole, make your life feel good. And I tell people it's really difficult in America to get to what is going to make your life, you, you, not your wife, not your husband, not your kids, you. It all starts with you and only you to extend to anybody else. And you don't often get the opportunity to ask and really sit with what do you need? Yeah, that's why I try to do my best to give you somebody that's going to ask you to do that for yourself. Give you somebody that's going to say, write down what you think your breaking point is. You may be single. You might have 5 kids and looking to move abroad. I have no idea. But it's going to start with you and what your intention is when looking at this breaking point. And I'm just tired of getting off. I'm ready to get off this hamster wheel of thinking that we're just going to hard work ourselves to the American dream. So many people are starting to wake up and say, "Hey, this isn't working out for me. Maybe I can still keep doing this, but this isn't going to work out for me." I'm starting to see people move abroad. I'm starting to see people that are actually doing the right way to survive. Go from surviving to thriving. Go from barely making it to really living. Doing the things that make you feel alive. Getting up and going to work every day doesn't make you feel alive. This daylight savings time is probably kicking your ass right now. Unless you are in Arizona, if you're in the United States, you are just going through daylight savings time. What happens in many places, I'm from Philadelphia, I'm from the Northeast, and what so many people go through that they don't even realize is seasonal depression. Right now, you may be going to work when the sun, at this point with the daylight saving, you might go to work when the sun is down. The only time you might actually see the sun during the day on days that you work is on lunch break or through your window at work like you're in prison. By the time you get off of work, it's dark, fighting traffic to get all the way back home, wherever city that you live in. You're not going to see the sun until the other side of January. What is that going to do on top of all of the other things that are beating down your camel's back right now? So you guys need to start preparing because we going into the winter months, and the winter months provides not a lot of opportunity for just natural sun, and that is such a unique thing that I think that people don't even realize weighs into how they feel about themselves, what they're doing, other people around them. The lack of sun could definitely do that, and you guys are going into it at a really bleak scenario. Tomorrow is election day in the United States. What that looks like, what does it actually mean? When are you guys going to go back to work? There are so many things that could be plaguing you. And what tonight we're going to try to do is give you some understanding. One, you are not alone. So many people will not admit that they are going through the same thing. I see it. I can see the struggle on people's faces when I go back to America. And I'm like, I can see you look upset. I can see it in your eyes. So many people will be like, we're all right. We're okay. I asked everybody the other day, how y'all doing? Y'all holding up over there? When's the last time somebody asked you, are you okay? And waited to hear what you said, genuinely concerned. So I ask you, are you okay? Because I know so many people aren't, and this breaking point could feel like trying to swim in water that is just way too deep. But you need to know where you are because the cost of all of this is way too great for you. A lot of people, when they think about moving abroad, they say, well, I got to move out of the United States and give all these things up, but then I get to gain some of these things. And it's like, that is only half true. The gaining portion, yes, You losing access to certain things, I honestly don't see anything that I don't have access to. Maybe certain seasonings that I'm like, but I mean, it's easy to go about getting. Somebody will bring it, or whatever the case is. But like, so many of you guys are thinking that moving abroad, thinks giving up so much, and not realizing that moving abroad, never mind just the quality of life, which is one of the biggest things, but you actually gain access to things that you are thinking that is a luxury. Access to healthcare, access to quality food at a reasonable cost. Luxury. You guys go to Whole Foods and treat yourself. You gotta go to the expensive grocery store with the organic food and treat yourself because, ooh, I want to make this the dinner with the best ingredients because I'm trying to impress somebody, and it's just like, well, the local shop right sure had the best ingredients, right? But they may not. You got to go to a place that has labels for organic because that's where you are in the United States. Never mind the cost of a bag of groceries is $100. So paying a premium for food that is making you sick, giving you things that you need medicine for, putting you into the doctor's office, these things are reality. And the cost of that is starting to possibly weigh on you. And we talk about just the cost because I know a lot of people are in that particular scenario, are looking at moving abroad and saying, so a $500 a month apartment, $1,000 a month apartment that looks like that, and saying, well, there's nothing where I live at. There's nothing in Philadelphia. There's nothing in Atlanta. There's nothing in Los Angeles. There's nothing in that price range. And people that look just like me are actually doing it. Is that reality? Is it possible? I tell people, depending on where you're going, your quality of life is going to increase for certain, but the cost of what you're paying is going to change probably drastically. United States is one of the most priciest countries in the world. Like, especially from a let's go, I'll go there. There's other places that are more expensive for certain, but United States is a very big country, and a lot of people don't realize that when they say the poorest Americans are the richest globals, still a part of the richest global citizens, they're not lying to you. $30,000 doesn't go far in the United States, no matter where you are in what country. I mean, what state. But $30,000 on a global scale goes plenty of places far as what that gets you for the value. In Colombia, the digital nomad visa, you have to show that you make, let's just call it $1,000. That's $12,000 a year. $12,000 a year, you'd have home, food, you'd be able to have a life. Now, you in the United States at $12,000 a year, you are going to have a very unique life that is going to be very difficult for you. Whereas they're saying you just need to make sure that you make at least this amount. So I tell people the amount that you make in the United States, if you can just make that online, you are going to, I would say 80 to 90% certain that you are going to see that money go immediately further. Now, if you going to a place that is Eurocentric or Europe, you need to be intentional about where you're going. That's why I'm like, hey, so many people are like, oh, America's cost too much, so I'm going to London. Well, my friend, London is going to be possibly cheaper. But I'll give you an example from a currency exchange. In Mexico, Mexican peso is 20 pesos to $1. So $20 pesos to go to a dollar, whereas in Colombia it is almost about 4,000 to $1. So obviously your dollar is going to go further. One of the things I remember Anthony Bourdain saying in Parts Unknown was, when you go to somewhere, buy a Coke, like Coca-Cola. Based off of what the cost of the Coca-Cola is, it's going to let you, it's kind of like it dictates what the market is, like how far your dollar will go. Oh, a Coke is only going to cost me 20 cents, 30 cents. Well, your dollar is going to go far there. In the United States, dollar 20 ounce, I don't think it's even possible anymore. I probably sound like an old man talking about penny candy when I say a dollar for a 20 ounce. So that puts things into perspective because a lot of people are saying, well, I'm broke, so I don't have enough to live. You live in one of the most expensive countries in the world. understand what it is that you may be looking at and understanding. As long as I can keep that US dollars, I know it doesn't really go far there, but if you will be surprised what it will go and where it will go, what lifestyle will give you, where it may give you a bad lifestyle in the United States. Now, I said the L word, lifestyle. So many people talk about moving abroad as a lifestyle change. What I am going to do, and I'm going to challenge you because it's going to be difficult. And I'm going to talk to you guys very directly because I want you to get this. Just because you are over all of the stuff that has it going on in the United States, just because you're like, people move in and they just raise up the cost and I can't afford anything, and you're fed up. I get it. It does not mean that you are one supposed to go do exactly what you are saying you are fleeing in another place, because now you are in the advantageous situation to do so. So many Americans are going from feeling like I'm barely surviving in the United States to I see them talking about it on the internet. Well, I'm in the 1% now. Okay. I mean, maybe from a financial perspective, but who are you? Who are you? Are you going to be one that is going to go ruin the local culture and community by sitting there throwing money around because now you're the 1%? So these conversations about your breaking point have to come to a scenario of understanding that it's okay to get to a breaking point. It's about what you do afterwards and who you become where you're going. Because so many of you guys are actually becoming what you're saying that you're looking to leave. You're just doing it in another place. Now that you have the ability to do so. Now that your money goes further, you're the gentrifier. Now that your money goes further, you're the bourgeois and the elite. And I only do this, or who is talking to me, or I'm not learning the language. They need to learn English. Like, there are so many of you that don't realize that this move abroad is going to be a transformational thing. Yes, it's going to impact your life, but two, it needs to positively impact you as a human being, because when you take that off, that American mold I was telling you guys about, and you get to realize that the unprivileged or the people that were poor could now be in a scenario where they have the money that they always wanted, or the to being the privileged, how they act is a testament to true character. And that's why I say I prepare you guys to see who you really are at the core. That's why I said this is transformational. Yes, it's okay to be broke and feeling like, not broke, but like feeling like you're at your breaking point. But you shouldn't become someone else's breaking point abroad. This move has to be done with intention, has to be done with the understanding. I tell people at the very base level of being existing as a human being, we are only on this earth to be with other humans. We're only on this thing to be in community with each other. We're only there, and that's across language, borders, barriers, government policies, politics. The real end all be all is how do we work with how do we work? And abroad, you are able to see more of that. You're able to tap in more of that. So many people are now seeing it. When we first started, I feel like not a lot of people had their heads wrapped around the C word. The C word is one of the biggest words. If you go type it in, when you go and type in moving abroad, you're probably going to run into it, and it's community. So many people have forgotten in America how to be a part of a community. I know. Because they make you so hyper individualized, because if it's not about your success, then what does it matter? You don't want your brother, your sister, your friend, your fellow person to do as good or better than you because it would detract from who you are. Now, I'm not saying that abroad or any place is perfect by any means, but I will tell you that people have a little bit more sense of understanding that family is important, the friendships that you build, the opportunities you have to eat with each other. Not about spending money and accumulating a bunch of stuff, but about living and communing with each other. I'm starting to see more influencers or people that are talking about moving abroad, and I'm happy to see that they're talking about community. Because one of the biggest things that you are going to have to realize is this is a community act right here. This conversation. It costs you $0 unless you have to pay for YouTube or whatever you're watching this on. It costs you $0. I spend my time to give you guys understanding that there is a community abroad. There are people that care enough to reach out. Yes, we have things for purchase. Great. But this conversation costs you nothing besides the time it takes you to listen. But it hopefully gives you something that is even more valuable than what it is a dollar amount that I could put something on. Because at the end of the day, it is your life. It's not my life. My life is already on the other side of the TSA. But it's either your life or your legacy, your family's lives that is at risk in the United States. Your legacy by your own individual self if you're moving as a single person. You're feeling that the breaking point and when it breaks may be too much to bear. It's on you. The conversation blankets an entire group of people that I may never meet in person, but it's there and it lives because it needs to happen. You need to have hope that just because you're at your breaking point doesn't mean that you have to break. You can start to mend, you can start to build a life that it is that you actually are happy to be living. But if you don't do what it is that we talked about, putting the resources, putting the tips, the tools, the who you need to be into your relocation journey in your book bag, you are not going to have success. You are going to be moving back home and getting back to whatever and just going to have to deal with it. Because you're going to be jaded by your experience on the way out moving abroad. It didn't work. Now I'm just at home base in America because that feels safe. America no longer feels safe for so many Americans. That is why you're here. That is why you're looking to move abroad. But just because it doesn't feel safe doesn't mean you can afford to jump out with no parachute out of the airplane that is America, because it seems like it is going down and it's like the floor is never the floor. It used to be a floor and it's like, all right, cool, there's a bottom, they're going to cool off for a little bit and then things will go back to normal. Well, things just keep happening in the United States and it's just like people are overwhelmed with that to the point where I see so many people saying, turn it off, just turn it off. Just turn it off. Turn off the news, turn off the internet, turn off the whatever. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. And I get it. It's overwhelming. There's things that they're putting you on. It's like you can't do anything about it. And it's like, those are all facts. Those are all facts. The one other fact that is in the room is just because the TV is off, Kendrick Lamar fans, doesn't mean that it's not happening. The TV off only lets you not find out that it may be coming right down your street until you actually see it. So it's a double-edged sword of staying in the know with what's going on so you can make the right decisions, as well as protecting your mental health and your peace. Understanding that this shift that you're going to have to go through, this transformation, it's like once you go into it, the caterpillar never becomes the caterpillar ever again. They either get crushed as a caterpillar, they end up going into the cocoon, taking care of what they need to do in the cocoon, and then the time they break out, they become a butterfly, but they never live as a caterpillar again. You are going to be in the same journey. Once you leave with the intention that I'm putting into your book bag, once you understand what your life would have been should you have stayed, what your life is now with the opportunity to see what the world offers, you'll realize that you can't go back into being a caterpillar. You can't put yourself into that once you understand that the life that you lived, it wasn't on the path that it could have been. And so many people that move abroad see that. They see that there's an opportunity and a time for them to reclaim their lives in a way where they wouldn't have been able to grasp it again. So understanding that the cost of surviving in the USA is starting to weigh on you. I get it. The cost of staying is very, very high. But the understanding that the opportunity cost, what you can gain by moving abroad, what's your legacy if you're moving with the kids or you're looking to have children in the future, the things that you'll have access to, these things will only increase the betterment of your life. This isn't just a me thing. I'm seeing this across multiple demographics of people that come to Medellin, go to Mexico, go into these other places. I have conversations with my other friends that do relocation, and I'm like, it's inspiring to hear that so many of us are having this opportunity, and it's a blessing to be able to be one of the people that can help guide and shine a light on how to increase your success probability here. One of the biggest things I know people are asking when looking into this breaking point thing is this need to escape America, and that really may be where you're at with it. But we kind of hinted on this, and it talks about the shift and the thought process thing again. But when it comes down to escaping America, if you are willing to say that you're willing to do that, you also have to be willing to say that you're not going to bring it with you. So many people are like, well, they don't have a Walmart and they don't have a this. So you want America somewhere else. You want America luxuries or things that with my brand name, but you just don't want any of the bad stuff. In what world do you live in where you can just pick and choose what you want? Not even in your partner, you can pick and choose. You might love 98% of the things about them, but they might breathe out their mouth or something crazy. And you're like, that 2% is kicking my ass right now. I have no idea, but you're not going to be able to pick and choose what it is that you want. So thinking that you're going to take some of the stuff that you have in America and apply that to here, listen, Christopher Columbus, it doesn't work like that. Every place that you have on your expat destination radar, it has its own citizens, it has its own government, it has its own community, it has its own way of doing life. Even into the expats and the expat communities that are being built around there, they are already there. Most of them aren't saying, please, can you come so we can be a better community? You're going to come anyway. So nobody is asking for you to leave. That's why I said this is about you. Nobody's waiting for you to come. That's why I'm like, put this onus on you and understanding that, yes, you might be fed up with America and looking to escape it, but you will be back in a place that you think that you're not happy to be if you try to go recreate America somewhere else. I don't care if they use the US dollar. Panama is not the America. It's not. It's just not. Just because they use the US dollar, oh, I can go to Playa del Carmen and it's a bunch of hotels and resorts, so they should speak English. You are going to the country of Mexico where the native language is Spanish. So maybe somebody speaks English, but that shouldn't be your forward thought process. Can I move if I don't know any Spanish? Do you not know any Spanish? Well, why are you looking? Do you know how to say hello? Do you know how to say good morning? Do you know how to say where's the bathroom? What work have you done on your couch where you are right now to get comfortable with saying some phrases? I would, as a grown person, you should at least be able to say where's the bathroom. So many people are moving abroad. I'm allergic to peanuts. Why would I not know the word for peanut? I don't care if I'm going to Korea. I will find out how to say I am allergic to peanuts and does this have it in there. I do not speak one word of Korean, but I will learn that because I need to be able to move around in the places that I'm saying I'm going. That is responsibility. That is travel responsibility. That is something that you, as the person that is looking to move abroad, needs to adopt. And by adopt it, I mean you need to adopt it and let it live in your house for the rest of your life that you consider yourself a global traveler. Because thinking that everybody's going to get there and speak English waiting for you, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Take that process and leave it in America. I tell so many people, you may not be ready to move abroad. I know you want to, but are you ready to move abroad? Because thinking escaping America is just taking its traditions and values and packing them up into a nice place and then packing them somewhere else. You are in for a rude awakening, a rude one. So I want you guys to have success. And that's why I talk to you directly about, yes, it's okay to be at your breaking point. Yes, there's some things that you can navigate and we can navigate or I can help you navigate together. Excuse me. But if you don't do the work, if you don't understand what is actually going on, what is on your plate, you are going to do yourself a disservice in all of this. We are living, I say we, I mean the global expat community, we are living transformed lives. We talk about living abroad in a way where it may come off like braggadocious or I don't have to deal with that American nonsense no more. And the reason why is because it's not being a brag by any means. It's just if you knew better, you would do better. And we know better. So we try to say, hey, at least just come and see what it is that I have to offer. Take a look past these 1 minute videos for virality and things of that nature, but come out and visit us. See what it's like. When my mother came from Philadelphia, my mother had never been to Colombia. She doesn't speak one word of Spanish. She would look at me when people start talking to her in Spanish. Like, can you translate? Because I have nothing for them. But one of the things that stood out to me, because, being able to take your parents around the globe, see new things with them for the first time or through their eyes, seeing it for the first time, it's a powerful experience. And my mom, when she lives in Philadelphia. And when she came to Colombia and Medellin, she said, I knew you wasn't gonna live like in the hood or nothing. Like that's not your that's just not we came from there. You're not gonna go move to another place to be in their hood. So I knew that wasn't gonna be. But I didn't know that it was gonna look like this. Like I could tell she was having like a moment. My mom is over 60 years old, closer to 70. Like she was like having a life moment at that moment. Happy that her kid was able to even see something like this. But she had her entire mind changed. And she's like, I don't Philadelphia and you live down here and everything cheaper and the food is good and it don't cost this much. Like, what am I doing? So that's what it is. We know better. And we want you guys to at least understand it. If you want to go back after going and you didn't like have a failure problem, that's all your prerogative. I know a lot of people think the people that live to move abroad say, oh, well, you gave up your American citizenship. Laughs, Uncle Sam Lee. It don't work like that. You can't just be like, I'm going, here you go. Go find you. So you're still an American citizen. You got to pay to get out of being an American citizen. So we're all still American citizens, even with residencies and everything of that nature. That's another conversation. We got 11 more days after tonight, so we're gonna get into them for sure. But tonight was really about breaking points because I know that's where y'all are. I know that's where y'all are, and I want y'all not to have a misconception that America is waiting for you on the other side. All of the great things. There's an American expat community there, so it's just like America. No, we all have to get in where we fit in. We all have to get to accustomed to the language, the culture. I will tell you, just because you speak Spanish doesn't mean you speak the Spanish of the local place you're going. Depends on where you're going. Colombian Spanish is not Panamanian Spanish. It's not Dominican Spanish. It's not Puerto Rican Spanish. It's not Peruvian or Ecuadorian Spanish. Even in Colombia, a Paisa accent is not a Costeño accent. It's not a Royal accent. None of these accents are the same. They're going to use words or cadences in Spanish at a language and pace that you may be like, can you slow down? Never mind, repeat 4 more times for me to understand. Don't feel overwhelmed by not knowing. Be overwhelmed by the thought process that you don't think that you need to know. That is a negative thought process, and I would say it's one of the things that I try to say. These are the things you can do before you leave. These are the things. Come to these conversations. Cool. Also, you looking to put, a Spanish speaking country when you go narrow down and put your top five, 3 of them Spanish speaking countries. Best to start now, amigo. Because what's the point? You need to learn. You're not as pliable as you were when you were a kid and you were in school. You probably haven't been in school for a long time. So yes, the Duolingo, I hate them. The language apps, they'll work. Immersion is going to be one of your keys, and once you get to immersion, you'll realize what I just told you, that just because you learn your Spanish in Medellin and you got real good at it, don't mean you're going to go to Cartagena. And I had homies that were from Cartagena. They were from Bogota and they lived in Cartagena, and somebody would say something. I said, what they say? He's like, bro, he was talking way too fast. I don't even know. And he's from Bogota, and it was a guy in Cartagena. So these things are just a part of the learning process. It's about the beauty of being abroad and learning and navigating some of these challenges and becoming better, honestly. So definitely is on the ability for you to transform your life. Your breaking point doesn't mean you need to end up broken. It's about what you do to mend, what you do to start building that success story that you're looking for. Building and realizing that you don't have to spend all your money to say that you live in America and that's going. I live in America. Good for you. I'd rather not spend $100 a bag of groceries. I'd just rather not. I get upset when I go back home to the United States and my friends are like, well, that's just how much things cost. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not paying that. That's outrageous. Like, this doesn't make any sense. What you're doing now in the United States, they're like, hey, we're not giving these people that work for us any money at this restaurant. So we're automatically gratuity granting this tip, this check 20%. But if you'd like to tip the person that actually waited on you, here's an extra cost that you could give them as a tip. I said, hold on, you want me to pay almost 40% in cost? That's a whole nother meal for somebody that I didn't need. because a major company didn't want to pay their workers. Yet that is what so many Americans are positioned with, even when they go out to eat. Never mind what they're doing at the grocery store. It's less and less people at the grocery store that's working there, isn't it? A lot more self checkout and opportunities for you to just do it yourself. They're realistically putting us in a scenario in so many people where it's like you don't want to be in a position where you end up broken. You stayed past your breaking point and you end up on the other side of now I can't leave. Now I have no way to leave. I say with opportunities to leave and a little bit of time to put some tools in your tool belt. Do what you can. And one of the things you can do is come to our virtual relocation conference. That's definitely going to be really impactful for you from a foundational connections to what destination do I want to go to? What resources do I actually need to go about? And once I decide, okay, this is the destination I want to, who's going to meet me there to show me these things that I need to see to figure out if I can live there? It's just one thing doing a virtual conference, but the thought process is that you come to where you're coming before you sell all of your stuff. I want you to have a high probability of success. So selling all of your things and moving to a place that you have never been, that's not a high probability of success thing. So many people are doing that, and I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And it's like, this is your life, not mine. And I get sad because I'm like, does it work? Sure. But the lottery works too. Do you spend all your money on lotto tickets every day because one guy won? No. You go to work or you do things that you're like, hey, this is going to make money. This is what I need to do. So consider that when you're looking at these low probability success stories on the internet or virality scenarios, and you're thinking, that could be me too. No, it can't. I'm going to be honest with you. The likelihood of that, like I said, if you have that thought process, it could be you too. Go play the lotto. Go buy all the scratch off tickets that you need and do the Fantasy 5 and do the Powerball because you're going to be the next lucky winner. If you don't think that's going to happen, then don't put that same thought process and thinking into the your relocation or your move abroad. It is way bigger than that for you guys. Want to get wrapped up here. What I will tell you is over the next 11 days. So you guys, thank you for sticking around for day one of the 12 days of relocation. The next couple of days, we are going to continue to open these doors of topics and conversations, the hard ones that you're going to need to have. I told you, the conference, we cover everything from the resources, the value, the things that you forgot about, and the things that are already on your radar. Come to the conference, you'll get all of those things. But over the next 11 days, we'll be covering some of the other things, some of the hard things. I want to talk to y'all like I'm like a brother, a friend, somebody that actually cares about your success in moving abroad. So that's why we offer these free calls and free conversations so that you can be asked the tough questions that only you can answer. But most of these people won't ask you no tough questions. They're like, here's an immigration lawyer and here's a visa package. Yeah, but what about this? Or what about what you do before you even book a plane ticket? And understanding where you are in the process of thinking like, yo, I'm about to give up everything that I've ever known because I'm ready to leave America. I'm willing to go into uncharted waters by me because what I was told was my reality or should be my reality no longer works for me. That's a hell of a crossroads to be in. So I want you guys, one, make certain you're keeping your eyes open on wherever it is that you're watching this. I do my best to actually put the time and the topic of what it is that we're talking about on that page. So make sure you're keeping your eyes on there. If you aren't already, go to YouTube, Black Expat Life Abroad. There you can follow us, subscribe. I got a message today. We've uploaded over 250 videos, so all of those are different kinds of relocation content. You see, I will put the hours in for the community. I just need you to watch it, share it, comment. Let me know what it is that you guys need help with. We've got our topics, but we can always divert and navigate around what it is that you may need to hear. We will also be discussing understanding the value of a relocation tour. The relocation conference says, hey, you guys can stay there in the United States for like price of a bag of groceries, honestly, less than a bag of groceries. We're going to give you all of the resources that you need to move abroad. But the relocation tour, the physical one, before you go sell all of your stuff, I keep repeating that. Before you sell all of your stuff, before you sell all your stuff, you need to go on a relocation tour. It doesn't even have to be mine, but you need to go on one wherever destination it is that you are looking for, because these things are increasing the probability of success. Inspecting what you expect is one of the best things and best advice that I can give you in relocation. Check what it is that you think is actually going to be there when you get there before you go make drastic changes. So every night of the relocation tour, and including every day today. So anybody that didn't know, go to moodtravelabroad.com. We'll get more information out about that. If you have seen some of the videos, definitely share that to somebody that is looking to move abroad. This is the goal. The goal is to get you virtual information. See people that are actually in destination that can help you. Get your pens and papers ready to ask the questions that you need about visas, what healthcare looks like there, the cost of living. How do I make money online? How do I pay off student loans? How do I retire abroad? How do I retire, period? So many people can't even afford to retire in the United States. Moving abroad may actually present that. Don't know who you are, but I want to make certain that you are covered. So these 12 days of relocation, it came out of my head, but it means a lot from out of my heart to you guys. I want to do what I can to provide the community as many free resources, so that way you'll see the value in what it is that we do where there is a little cost. That way we can make certain that we can continue to get this message out. I appreciate you guys. We will be back. We've got a 2-for-1 tomorrow. I'll be back with a conversation. I think I put on 4, but keep your eyeballs on there. And we'll be on Roots and Routes podcast with the whole team. So if you guys aren't familiar with Roots and Routes podcast, what we do, myself, Tisha, Akeem, and Michelle, we are all expats living abroad, and we provide not only color commentary to all of the trending topics, what is going on that may impact travel, moving abroad, but also give you some real understanding from 4 different people that have actually done the work, actually help other people get on the other side of the TSA and survive and thrive. A lot of opportunity to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get connected to the resources and the things that you need. Jump in my DMs. Let me know what y'all have on your hearts, what y'all have in your heads, what y'all might want to see going forward. Let me just make certain before we get out of here, I don't have any chats where people, I think I saw somebody ask a question. I'm in Cali right now and I got a sushi burrito and it was good. I'm paying $300 a month for my Airbnb. So that's somebody that's living in Cali, Colombia. Depending on where you're going, as I mentioned, we're going to have Cali, Santa Marta, and Medellin covered for Colombia. Del Carmen, Mexico. Panama City, Panama, as well as Cape Town, South Africa. All of the conversations are live that we've had with our speakers. So we did our job, brought the panel on, give you an understanding of what they'll be covering on the virtual relocation conference. All of those videos live at Black Expat Life Abroad on YouTube. MoodTravelAbroad.com is where you're going to get the relocation conference tickets. As I mentioned, we will see you tomorrow for day number 2 of the 12 days of relocation. We will be covering a new topic, new information, new hard questions to ask you about moving abroad and what it actually looks like and means for you and how to prepare to succeed. So thank you guys. If you're watching the replay, make certain that you are liking, following, subscribing, and drop a comment. Let me know what it is that's on your mind. If this video was helpful for you, if you want to see more of it. I appreciate everybody as always. I promise you I do this from the bottom of my heart. My name is RJ Mood, and it has been a pleasure. I will see you for day 2. Y'all stay tuned. We're excited to continue to guide you guys right on out of the United States and into your next best lives. Take it easy.